right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Skies are clear overnight, but what does this mean for our ability to see the aurora overnight? And is it our last opportunity this weekend? Also timing out our next rain chance coming up.
Weeding out vacant lots, the effort now underway to improve North St. Louis County. But first, a woman shot in broad daylight.
We don't feel entirely safe, but we're just so desensitized to that unsafe feeling.
New details about a shooting at a St. Louis Metrolink station. Thanks for joining us. I'm Holden Kerwicki. Tonight, we're still waiting to learn more about the suspect in the shooting near Forest Park. It happened at the Metrolink station on De Bolivar near Lindell. Police say the woman was shot in the head. Our Annie Crawl was there just 30 minutes after it happened. Annie, what have you learned tonight?
We spoke with an employee from one of the local businesses next to that Forest Park Metrolink station off camera who told us the woman who was shot was a regular and seemed very agitated less than 30 minutes before the shooting happened at 3:30 this afternoon. Police and Metrolink officials stopped train travel soon after to continue their homicide investigation. People who live in the area say it's not anything they haven't seen before. Trains coming to a halt Saturday because of a homicide. St. Louis Metro Police are investigating a shooting Saturday that left one woman dead at this Forest Park Metrolink station after being shot in the head. Metrolink train travel also stopped at the Central West End, Delmar Loop, and Skinker Station, leaving dozens of people stuck trying to get home or to work even during the weekend, though tracks reopened around 6 o'clock. People walking past who live nearby say all the police lights and sirens is something they've had to get used to.
It's kind of weird that we're so desensitized to it at this point, because we're like walking down the street, we see the lights, we're just like, oh, it's just another day in St. Louis.
Police tell us that at 3:30 in the afternoon, a woman in her 20s was found not conscious and not breathing. Originally transported to a local hospital in critical condition, she was pronounced dead there not long after. Metro Transit Public Safety released a statement Saturday saying they were saddened by the incident, adding that, quote, "We are not immune to the plague of violent crimes which affect our region." Jay Mancera, who lives nearby and moved to the area about a year ago, couldn't agree more.
Like before I moved here, I moved here from Texas. So before I moved here, I saw article after article about how St. Louis is like this crime central. And since I've moved here, that's been generally true.
The Homicide Division is continuing their investigation. If you have any information, you can leave an anonymous tip by calling Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS. Holden?
Thank you, Annie. Tonight, police are investigating after a car theft led to a chase and shots being fired at officers. Police say a car was stolen around 2 this morning on Chambers Road. The suspect fired shots at a person who interrupted them. That person then fired back. No one was hurt. A St. Louis City officer later saw the stolen car and suspects on Locust Street. That officer chased them until the North County Police Cooperative took over the pursuit. Then the suspects fired at officers who returned fire. They later jumped out of the car and tried to run off on Winkler Drive. Police arrested an adult and 3 juveniles. No officers were hurt. A man is now facing charges in a shooting that injured a 2-year-old in North St. Louis County. Deshaun Harland is accused of firing shots at a vehicle with a man, woman, and child inside. This happened Thursday near Chambers Road and Lorna Drive. The 2-year-old was shot in the calf and taken to the hospital. Police say Harland had previously tried to rob the child's father after they agreed to exchange an AR-15 for marijuana. Today, a large group of pro-Palestinian protesters marched through the streets of St. Louis protesting the war in Gaza. The group says they want the U.S. to stop sending aid to Israel. This is what it looked like earlier near Delmar and Skinker. Police had to shut down the road as those protesters marched through. A heads up for Illinois drivers. The westbound lanes are shut down on Interstate 55-64 between the Poplar Street Bridge to I-70. IDOT is resurfacing the area. It should reopen by 5 a.m. Monday morning. The westbound lanes of the MLK Bridge are also shut down. Drivers can either take the McKinley or Stan Musial bridges. Tonight we're learning more about urban forestry initiatives in North County. A local nonprofit is receiving a grant to spruce things up. Travis Cummings explains how it's going to work.
So this is one of our lots for our vacant lot remediation program.
There are big plans for this North St. Louis County land,
where we're taking vacant lots and turning them into miniature prairies within the footprint. We also have some tree planting programs going on that are kind of starting up, and so we're all over the place.
Joel Olkey and his team at Beyond Housing are in the weeds of making life better for residents in 24 different North County neighborhoods. They are working to clean up trash and invasive vegetation and put healthy roots in the ground.
We call it the 24-in-1 footprint. It's 24 small municipalities that are in the one school district of Normandy.
Now, thanks to a $20,000 grant from the American Water Charitable Foundation, the group can do even more.
We want to start focusing on stormwater mitigation with the use of tree planting, as well as our vacant lot remediation. We also are going to be working with Missouri Stream Team to start hosting more Stream Team cleanups.
You said when you look out over your district, you see a lot of potential.
Sure. I see a lot of people that are interested in making sure that their property is well maintained.
Councilwoman Rita Hurt Days hears the hearts of the people who live in these communities.
Many of them are senior citizens and perhaps can't do as much as they used to do, but this is indeed a grant that would help that significantly, I think.
These dollars will grow interest in cultivating a green and clean community.
To generate buy-in from the residents so they can take pride in the work that they're doing.
We do want areas with trees. It's environmentally healthy. We do want the areas with grass areas, and because I think that adds to, again, the aesthetics of a municipality.
Travis Cummings, 5 on your side.
Tomorrow is the last day to catch the Lohmeyer Annual Art Fair. You can find work from hundreds of artists. It's the park's largest fundraiser, and it comes just a month after a decrease in funding was announced for the park. In April, our partners at the Business Journal reported that the park laid off 7 staff members. The fair runs from 10 a.m. until 5 o'clock tomorrow night. Take a look at this. Schrader Park looked a little bit like the United Kingdom today. The Scottish Games and Cultural Festival was this morning. People came out for events like Highland dancing, tug of war, and much more. TikTok. It's a matter of time before the app could be banned in the U.S. Tonight we verify if bypassing the ban could lead to criminal charges.
Is our city's water infrastructure falling apart?
Our I-team digs into St. Louis City water main breaks, how much fixing the problem could cost residents in the long run.
Most of Sunday is dry, but clouds are going to be on the increase for the second half of the day. What that means for your Monday morning commute in terms of rain and what we'll expect for rainfall totals throughout the rest of the week.